you're always
Cool.
grinding, right? And there's this
Yeah.
grind culture and this like hustle culture. Do you fall into that? And would you associate yourself with that? Because for me, I find myself, I used to kind of really be into that world, but then I realized that you can't work yourself to death. You've got to make sure that you got to take time out. And I'm the
Mm.
worst person when it comes to that. I'll preach it to the choir, but sometimes when I look at myself, I'm like, yeah, but you don't take your own advice. How do you manage everything? Like, you do so much, and you still have this hustle culture. You still have this like hustle mentality. Like, what keeps you ticking?
It's growth. It's when I see the fruits of my labor, that is what keeps me motivated, I think. And everything that I'm doing now, it's like planting seeds, isn't it? They're never going to grow overnight.
Mm,
And you have to keep working at something to kind of bring it to fruition. Um, so the hustle culture, yeah, I know. I mean, it's talked about a lot, isn't it? And I think there's a fine balance to be had because the whole burnout thing, I don't think it's something that should be glorified. In the sense that yes, absolutely work for your goals and be obsessed with them, like I'm
I
obsessed with
like that
mine.
obsession. I'm
Um,
very for that. Like,
yeah,
and people think that
you're
being obsessed is
right.
a problem, but you can be obsessed about the right things, and if they're in line with your principles, your goals,
Yeah.
and things that you want to achieve, that's great.
Mm, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's the only kind of way you're gonna get to where you want to be in life. And I don't listen to what anyone's got to say anymore. I literally live on my own terms and do what I want. And there's always going to be people that are telling me that, Tina, you're crazy for thinking this, or why are you doing that? And that's a really silly idea. But for me, I'm gonna jump in both feet first and see what happens. Like if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But at least I tried. That's the way I've always been. I'm a massive risk taker like that. Calculated risks, to an extent. But I think I just go for it, and that's what keeps me going. The hustle thing, um, I think it's important to have an element of it. Like if you've got a dream, you've got your goals and your
Hmm.
visions, then why would you not want to put everything into it? Like that's just the way I see it. And there's things that I'll sacrifice, like whether it's going out or whatever. I choose very wisely, like where I put my energy, and it's into the things that I want to achieve in life. Like I do have fun, obviously. I've got my friends and family that I hang with and stuff like that. But when it comes to getting the job done, then that's my main priority. Selfishly, sometimes, but
What's made
got to be
you
done.
what's made you kind of make that switch? Because not everyone, blah, 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 I can't even speak. Not everyone makes that decision so quickly, right? And it's kind of like you flip back and forth. Like, I know
Mm,
that I do. Like, I'll go into my little hibernation hole and I'm like, let's get on, let's crack on. And then,
yeah, yeah.
2 months into it, I'll be like, wait, I haven't seen anyone. I haven't talked to anyone. I haven't conversed with anyone aside
Yeah.
from the people that I'm constantly conversing with. So
Mhm.
what actually made you make that switch? What was can you pinpoint it for me? Like, I know it's a deep
I guess
question, like the moment that happened,
it
because
is a
but you've
deep
been doing it for so
question.
long. That's why I'm so curious.
Yeah. Do you know? I think it comes down to me almost taking my power back in a sense. And I mean that in a way where before I'd just be so for other people. And I still am. Like I've got my circle that I'm so down for and vice versa. But I think I always like my intentions are always pure when I do something for someone. Like I'll do something for someone and not expect anything
Right.
back. Um, but I never used to get that back. Not when I say that, I never used to get that intention back, that pure intention back. And I think it got to a point where I just thought, whatever I'm doing for myself and others, like it was all like everything that I did was for other people, which I still do now. But I think about it more consciously in the sense that if it's not making me happy, whatever it is, then I'm not going to invest my energy into it.
Right.
Um, and that comes across quite selfish, I know, but I don't mean it in a selfish way.
You just kind of
I think
protect
I
your
just have to
energy.
be more.
You
Say
kind of
that
just
again.
protect your energy.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it, actually. I definitely protect my energy. So I think that's when the switch kind of came because, like, I always come from a place of authenticity and I never used to get that back. So now I just think, well, I'm always going to be like that to other people. I'll always be good to them and whatever, if I don't get that back, then that's on you. And you know, karma's got everyone's number, so hey.
Do you believe in karma?
But I think 100%. I'm such a big believer in all of that. Like
What do you mean
that's
by
why
what
I'm
do you mean by
so
all of that?
like karma, the whole universe, and what you put out is what you ultimately get back. And I think even on a subconscious level, I've always thought it before I even consciously thought about it, if that makes
Right.
sense. So I've always believed that everything happens for a reason and nothing happens by coincidence. Like everything is orchestrated for your highest good, and I genuinely believe that. So that's the kind of energy that I like putting out now. And you know, so far so good.
And so
Touch wood,
you
it's all
receive it
working in
back
my
as well,
favor.
and you believe you receive it back.
Yeah, 100%.